when I was 320 pounds walking into a yoga studio, I was really bad at doing yoga. And that's why I did it.
What made you walk into a yoga studio?
Well, because I knew I'd be really bad at it. So
you have a phrase that says, if you can't, you must.
You must. Yeah, that's always my thing, man. If I know I'm going to be really... So here's the irony of my life. I grew up obese in a family of alcoholics and drug addicts with a speech impediment and a learning disability. So if you look at the trilogy there, I've made my living, in my underwear on a stage. So I overcame the obesity. I'm now, travel the world speaking on stage. So speech impediment has apparently left, which wasn't a speech impediment at all. Now that I realize, I learned disability, and I'm now an educator, and it's my passion in life to the only thing I want to do is learn and teach, right? Because I just have such a passion, and it's the most amazing time to be alive as a human being. And if people don't get that, you're not running in the right circles. Like, I get to talk to people like yourself and people like the people at the Health Optimization Summit who are doing such amazing things. It just makes me so excited to be alive as a human being. We're in the most incredible time. The discoveries that are going on. I interviewed Aubrey de Grey yesterday, the longevity,
yeah, he's great.
The Godfather, and talking about, he goes, man, we've solved it. We've solved the riddle. And I was like, how amazing is that? And there's so many health discoveries that are just so exciting and invigorating. And how can you not want to be alive, right? How can you not just want to be joyful all the time? So I say to people, start making yourself happy now, because you might be around a while. You don't want to be angry for a very long time, right? But yeah, that's, it's a different shift from where I was as a bodybuilder.
So you walked into yoga at 320 pounds.
Yeah. Because
it was difficult and you thought it might help?
No, because I knew I'd be really bad at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite a transition to make.
Yeah.
From former bodybuilder to yogi.
Yeah, so why did I do it? I felt a draw to be in really uncomfortable positions for a long period of time. The idea of quote unquote stretching, although I think yoga should not be focused on stretching. Yoga should be focused on achieving mind-body integration, right? So I'm gonna get myself into these incredibly uncomfortable positions where I'm very weak and I'm very unstable. And now tell yourself to relax and stay there and be calm and become stronger there. So I'm building stability. I'm ultimately building mobility, not necessarily flexibility. There's a difference there. And I'm integrating my body and mind and allowing me to be really, really relaxed in a position that's incredibly uncomfortable for a guy who's 300 pounds. And it was a big shift that happened for me. And I was so blessed, right? Because I've done a lot of yoga over the last few years, and an instructor makes a big difference. I was very blessed to find this amazing instructor in Tampa, Florida, who just literally changed my life, man. Changed the way I look at the world, changed the way I looked at my body, the integration of the body and the breath. I owe a ton to him.
How did yoga change you?
Well, the only way I'd achieved fitness in the past was in the gym. And I realized that this yoga thing could be really, really instrumental in my acceptance of who I am and learning to love my body and learning to really have a calm, peaceful mind. There's this term that comes to mind, equanimity, right? Which basically means something positive can happen to me and I'm not really disturbed by it. And something really negative can happen to me and I'm not really disturbed by it, because I realize that consciousness is an unpainted canvas. It's a white canvas. The only colors that it takes on is the ones that I've decided to put there with my perception. And so that's what yoga did for me. It's rather than having this belief around, hey, this thing means that. Well, it doesn't mean that. Somebody's come before me and said, well, that thing means that. Well, no, if I don't decide to put a meaning on something, like yoga, most people have the meaning that it should be made for women, or it's mostly women, or it's mostly for these people who are, from the East or India or whatever. Why, right? If I find amazing benefit from it in my body and my mind, and it really allows me to, it's just meditative for me, right? I'm in my mind integrating my body and mind for 90 minutes a day. It's just the most beautiful mindset when you leave. You're just in this amazing state of elation that you've just created without having to take a substance, or without having to buy a pair of shoes, or without having to step on stage with Mr. Olympia. I created that myself in a short amount of time. At first it takes maybe an hour or more, and then eventually it's seconds, it's minutes, and I can create that state. And that's just a beautiful thing.